Hello everyone, welcome to Red Dragon Model Works. I just wanted to update on something I was doing here, show you a little diorama idea I was thinking about, and also to answer a question I got. I was asked what kind of airbrushes I use, and I figured, instead of putting it out there, I'll just, typing it, I'll show you. I have several different kinds. I have a Badger 150. I have two of them. I have a Micron that's broke. But these I've had for about 25 years. I have two of them. This is the one that I've had. This is the first one I ever bought. It's been about 25 years, and then this one. I have a custom Micron in the back. The tip is broke off. I have a Pash H single action. I've had this for about the same amount of time, about 20-25 years. I picked up recently, not too long ago, an Iwata HPC Plus gravity fed 0.3 millimeter needle, and this is what I do most of my work with. I also use this one, so these two are what I use the most. But for glosses and future, I use my little Iwata HP M2, or I use the Pash. I was asked how do I clean out my airbrush when I use the future or glosses. Well, when I use either or, and I go to clean out my my airbrush, I basically, when I use glosses or future, I'll run some thinner through it, or rubbing alcohol, but more than likely it'll be thinner. And then I pull it out and clean it. And then once I run a little bit of that through, I run some airbrush cleaner. Now, I make my own. It's about a third of Windex, about close to a third of rubbing alcohol, and the rest of it, the other half, is distilled water. I don't use regular water because there's impurities in that water, and so I'll use the distilled water and run it right through it. And then I have a little airbrush cleaner, and I'll just put a little bit of that in there, just soak it out, or just some distilled water. But that's how I clean my airbrushes. I'm saving up right now to pick up a Sonic cleaner, so I can just sit them and soak them for a while, because they probably have never been soaked. Well, I know these guys have never been soaked, so, and I'm pretty sure this one's never been soaked. I mean, when I found this one in my, I had forgotten all about this Pash, and I found it in my my toolbox. It was rusted, and I used some CLR to clean it all up, and it works pretty good. It probably needs a new needle, but works pretty good. The other thing I was asked is when did I start modeling? Well, I off and on, I had been modeling as a child, 7, 8 years old. I would pick up a model here and there, just like everybody else. Wasn't really good at it. You take some testers, rattle can spray it, you think it was cool. And didn't have much time for that, being one of 8 children, being the oldest son, I had to help feed the family, so there wasn't much time for that, as I was growing up. And then in my early 20s, I should say, when my wife was pregnant with our first daughter, I would pick up a model here and there. I picked up a Tydirium shuttle and did it. Again, rattle can, testers paint. Maybe a couple other models here and there that I would pick up when I was bored. But yeah, I hadn't touched it for well over 20-something years. So about 6 months ago, I was, cruising the internet, and I came across number one, a scale mod addict, Scott Gervin, and I saw that brother. He was having a ball. He looked like he was having fun. I thought, maybe I should try this. I was looking for something to do. Being home, just not able to move and disabled. I figured, I need to find something to do, or else I'm going in bots here. So before I even did that, I started watching those some Japanese videos, and I watched a lot of them, and I just watched. You know, I didn't understand what they were saying, but I thought, you know, I could do that. So, and that's how I picked it up. It's only been about 6 months. As far as seriously trying to get into this hobby. As far as what, you know, how I learned how to airbrush, I picked that up as one day I told my wife, I said, you know, I think I can do that. You know, I used to do black and white sketches. Here, I'll show you. That's one of them. You can see the date on that when I did that. Back in 1988. I did that for my wife, you know. So it's been a while. I have several others, but I don't show them, you know. But that's when I do my models, I try to mimic the shading. I'm not always successful, but that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah. So yeah, I dabbled in black and white, you know, artwork like that, off and on throughout my life. And then when I was about 17, 18, I went to go see Frank Frazetta. He was at the, I believe it was the, if I'm not mistaken, and forgive me if I get it wrong, I think it was at the Illinois Art Institute. I had a picture up there, you know, and I was really proud of that. I was in grade school and they chose my picture to be hung up there. And I met the man, and I just loved Frank Frazetta. It was an idol of mine. So I thought, you know what, let me try some oil paints. So I went and I had a newspaper out and a few other little odd jobs here and there, and I bought myself some brushes, you know, some oil paint and some canvas, and I taught myself how to oil paint. I made 3 paintings. 2 of them have since disappeared, but the third one my sister has. It's a woman holding an apple, and the apple's turning into a snake. I got that out of a magazine, and I figured it'd be a nice painting. But then I put them down. I got bored, so I never picked it back up. So, in my late 20s, I was riding my Harley one day, and I thought, you know, I could paint these bikes. You know, I think I can do it. So I come home and I told my wife I'm going to go buy an airbrush. And she went with me. We picked up that Badger, this one here. And I started doing t-shirts and stuff. And I never thought they were any good. They sold, but I never thought they were any good. And then I had a friend of mine come to me and says, hey, can you do that on a motorcycle? And I said, sure, I think I can. So that's how that came about. And I did a few here and there and painted some tanks here and there. It wasn't a business, but it was something that I was enjoying doing. And then I got ripped off. You know, I got shafted out of the money. I was getting paid $100 for the tank, and this guy was making $2-3 grand off of it. So it left a bad taste in my mouth, so I walked away from it. So I hadn't picked up an airbrush 25 years, I'd say. So if that answers your question, that's how I did it. That's how I got into it. As far as who my influences are in modeling, I have many. You asked me if I compare my models to other people, or if I'm in competition with other people. I know what you're referring to. No. I compete against myself. I don't think I'm very good. I put my videos up so my brothers can critique them, show me what's wrong, tell me what they think is wrong. I really don't think they're any good. But like anyone else, you know, I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy the back and forth. And I really enjoy the feedback because it helps me. It helps me to grow as an artist. So no, I don't compete against anyone. I don't see somebody's model and then decide, I think I can outdo that. I don't do that. You know, I don't name names. There are men out there. Here, I'll give you a few guys. Where would I like to be in a couple of years? Norm Lejour. Phenomenal. Cohen C. You know, I admire that man's work. I really do. He has no idea how much I admire that man's work. I don't tell him that. Maybe once or twice, but I admire that man's work. Hamilcar Barkas. And there are others. Planes is Freddie Duarte. That brother doesn't realize how much an influence he is on me, just watching his stuff. Because I see his work and I'm like, wow, that is beautiful. And I try to mimic what I see. So that's basically what I do. There are other people out there that are just phenomenal. But what I do is, when I see a build, I try to mimic what I see. I'm not always successful at doing it. And maybe I'm trying to, in my way, I'm trying to do what they did. I don't have the resources a lot of people have, and most of us, 99% of us, don't have a lot. I have a few washers here, and I use them, so sorry if some people think that that's cheating. I make my own too. I have lamp black, burnt sienna, black, crimson, oil paints. I have some odorless mineral spirits, and I mix them up. I'm not always good at the ratios, but I know what the ratios are. But when I paint them, I have a hard time. Sometimes I envision something here, and when I do it here, sometimes it just, my mind goes, and I end up doing something totally different. So I enjoy modeling because it helps me. Funny, because I get more stressed out doing it, but it helps me to relieve the stress of the pain I go through. You don't need to hear that. I don't need to explain that, because you don't want to hear it. It's a private thing, I don't have to tell anyone what I go through on a daily basis. So just for me to grab these is a chore. But you don't need to hear that. It's to me, it's just an excuse. So I say I don't build as many models as I should. I have a Freddie Duarte. He sent me quite a few recently, and I have a video that I need to edit showing those. And I'm extremely grateful to the brother. I really am. I try to do faces. I'm trying to learn how to do that. I take Panzerman Bill gave me a few tips, and a few other people did. But I hope that answered your question. No, I am not in a competition with anyone. I don't look at someone's build and say I can do better than that man, and then try to outdo that person. I don't do that. I compete against myself. What I have up here. I see something here. I'm a visual person, so I'll see something here, and it bothers me, and it'll keep me up at night until I put it here. So that's how I work. Maybe that's not how everybody does, but that's how I work. So I hope that answers your question. Now I want to show you guys a diorama I'm doing. I watched a video a couple months ago, and this is the reason why I bought it. Well, I'm a Star Wars fan, as you can tell. I have some movie posters that I still need to put up. But Dr. Faust Painting Clinic. It's called the Painting Clinic. It's Dr. Faust. I don't know his real name. But he had an ad like this. And here, let me turn the camera on. I'll show you what I'm doing. He had an ad like this. But I want to turn the head a little bit more this way. And then he took a piece of wire. Now, I don't know if this is heavy enough, and I'm feeling it right now. It doesn't seem like it might. And I want, similar to what he did, he has it going into one leg here, and then coming around as if, the wire that went around that Luke Skywalker shot around that ad. And the way you see that coming up to the top here, over here on this end, that's where I want the speeder coming up, like this. Coming up on an angle like that. I have another speeder here. I got to find the other top for it that I'm going to have exploding into the ground. And then I have the guns here from the Battle of Hoth series, and just put them here, shooting at it. So I'm going to go this weekend and buy some board. I have some things here and there that I have, a piece of wood and stuff, but I want to get some styrofoam and some particle board, whatever it is, and then start building this up. Put a nice coat on this, weather her up real nice, have some explosions here and there. And I'm going to take a bowl, a plastic bowl, and cut the bottom out so I can make that dish that was shooting that protective force field, and having that explode. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm getting ready to do the Monday is our Battlestar Galactica group build. So in between that, I'm just finishing up some models that I had laying around, and this is one of them. All right, be right back. So I hope that answers your question, brother. I thought I would do it this way rather than typing it out. This way you could hear me tell you. Again, I thank you for the question. I thank each and every one of you. I thank you for your subscriptions. I'm very appreciative of it. There's 257 subscribers. I never thought I'd get that. I wasn't even thinking about subscribers. And I'm very thankful for that, you know, that people subscribe to what I'm doing. I'm surprised by it, you know. I don't consider myself very good, but, you know, they subscribe and they like to see what I'm doing, so it is what it is. I thank you, and I'm humbled by it. Also, I never compare myself to another modeler. I don't compare other modelers to each other. I think that's pretty ignorant. You know, we all have our own talents. I don't think one person is better than the other, because I think we all have traits we can get from each other. I think everybody has something to give each other, and I think that's a beautiful thing. You know, we can share as a community. I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm honored that I was welcomed into it. So I hope that answers your question, brother. This is Red Dragon saying, hey, you guys have a good afternoon. You know, stay safe. Enjoy your families, man. You know, and keep modeling, brothers. Peace.